Hello everyone. Hi, this is Kevin here. So welcome to another Wave accounting tutorial, and I want to share with you something very important today, and that is how to go about doing bank reconciliation using the Wave apps accounting system. Alright, so in a nutshell, a bank reconciliation, right, is a process whereby you match the records in your bank statement, which essentially measures your cash flow, the money that goes in and out from your bank account. You match that against the accounting records you have on your system, be it Wave, be it Xero, QuickBooks, or your own Excel spreadsheet. The whole purpose of doing it is to ensure that at the end of the day, the cash balance that you have on your accounting records matches the exact cash position you have on your bank statements, right? So and then the second point further on is you will be able to, the reconciliation process also allows you to be able to classify and categorize all the individual items, all the individual transactions in your bank statements into meaningful transactions, so that, you know, a lot of times when you look at the bank statement, you will only see in and out. Sometimes the description are lacking, so that's where you actually match them into your accounting system, and then you classify them accordingly. It could be revenue, it could be to your expenses, etc, etc. Okay, and how often do you do bank reconciliation? For me, I will do it at least once a month. And how do I do it? I will do it at the end of every month. So that means, for example, now today is the 3rd of November. So I would probably then retrieve the bank statements for the month of October, 1st all the way to 31st of October, and then I will reconcile that against my my accounts records for the entire month of October. The reason why you want to do that on a regular basis is because over time, if you drag it for too long, you will tend to forget which transactions are for what purposes, and then you have a problem trying to classify them properly. And I would advise against that. A lot of clients usually do not pay attention to this step, and then they will have an accounting mess come end of the year when they have to report tax, and then you will have to pay a lot more money to an accountant for them to sort out this mess because you do not do it regularly. All right. So how do you go about doing it on Wave? Okay, so you will need to go to, if you look at my screen on the left hand side of the menu, accounting, you go to transactions. That was something that we talked about in the previous tutorial, and then you go to more, and you will find the option called upload a bank statement. Okay, and in terms of using Wave apps system, of course that this is free. The limitation is such that in order to do bank reconciliation, you have to do it manually, in the sense that you have to upload the files yourself. Unlike, there's another system that I also use for myself and some of my clients, which is called Xero, XERO. Alright, that system allows the bank feeds to go directly into the accounting system, so I can skip this manual step. And that also means that I do not have to remind myself every month to do this. Alright, so as and when maybe periodically I see that there are like maybe 10-20 transactions that needs to be reconciled in my system, I will be able to do so. But you can't do that for Wave, alright, because you have to do it manually. So this is a trade-off, but nevertheless, this is free, so no complaints. Let me show you how to go about uploading it. Okay, so you can come here. You realize that, of course, they will tell you that there are a few formats that they allow. Okay, but personally, for the first 4 format, I do not use them. Alright, so I am only familiar with CSV file, so I'm going to demo using this also. And CSV file is essentially like an Excel file, but just of a special format. And as long as you have access to your internet banking account, you should be able to retrieve and download your transaction records in the form of CSV file. I have I would say that all of the bank accounts that my client use and myself use have this function. You either are able to download them in the form of PDF or CSV file, and you have to download them in CSV file because that's the recognized format for Wave. Okay, and once you have it downloaded, you can then upload. But remember that you need to modify it such that it is a format that Wave understand. And for that, let me show you. In fact, you can actually, if you're not too sure, you can see here. All right, you can actually download a CSV template and follow it accordingly. But I have it done here, and I don't think it's too difficult to remember yourself also. So let me just show you. Okay, so this is a CSV file. You will need to ensure that there are 4 columns, and these 4 columns namely are the date, the description, the column for deposit or debit and or credit and withdrawals or debit. Okay, you only need these 4 columns, so you need to ensure that whatever format the CSV file that you downloaded, right, it could have a lot more columns. Usually there will be like many columns, but those are unnecessary, so you can actually delete them away, cut them away, and just make sure that you leave these 4: the date, the description, the column of deposit, and column for withdrawals. Okay, so once you have these, then you can actually save as other formats. All right, then you can see here that there's a CSV format. So let's just call it bank statement. I'll put it on my desktop. Save. Okay, so this is done. So let's see how it goes about. All right, desktop. Okay, bang. Okay, and then once you have, then after that, then you also need to choose the payment account. So in this case, I only have either my cash or my bank account. So this is a bank account statement, so it should tally to your bank account. If you have multiple bank accounts, then make sure you choose the correct one. That also means that if you have 5 bank accounts, you need to do manually for each of the 5 accounts. Okay, so do take note of that. This is a potential drawback. Okay, and then you upload. Okay, then it will prompt you. Okay, it actually read the 4 columns that uploaded, but they will ask you to confirm. Okay, so you should confirm that this is a date. Confirm date. Okay, confirm the deposit. Okay, so they recognize that this is the column because I've made the header deposit. Okay, if for some reason it's wrong, most of the time, in fact, if you download your CSV file, the file actually doesn't use the term deposit and withdrawal, right? In banking terms, we call them debit or credit. So if ever it is wrong, let's say for some reason they highlighted this column, you can actually click here and adjust to make sure that it tallies properly, and this is the deposit. So confirm deposit, confirm that this is a description. Description are the but anyway, they are also by default that has been input into your bank statements. Could be the party that's paying, they have given you a reference, or when you make payment, when you make a description, it actually appears inside the bank statement as well. Alright, so select description. Okay, and then you're done. Upload my statement. Okay, it just takes a very short while. Okay, and what happens? Okay, once you have uploaded, you realize that it will bring us to this page. Okay, it brings us to this page, and okay, it says here that your transactions are being important for your bank statement. Please check back in a few minutes. Okay, so you can wait for a while, or you can just do a refresh. Okay, in fact, I see that it has been uploaded. You see, previously the other transactions I've already reviewed, so I've put a tick. Then you realize that those new transactions that you've uploaded from your bank statements, right, are without category because this is a step that you need to do and they have not been reviewed. So what happens is you need to then, your final step, yourself or your staff will need to do is you have did the step of entering in all the transactions into your system. Now you need to categorize them and match them accordingly. So let's just go through a few of them one by one. Like, let's say this is the YouTube advertisement. Okay, so you click on it. It opens up you can still make adjustments. So you can see here that it tells you that this is from your bank statement imported on 3rd of November. Okay, so sometimes some of it may not be correct. That's where you can still make adjustment if you want to. So withdrawal $200. Okay, so you then need to categorize them. So let me just put them under advertising and promotion. Alright, save it, and we're done. Okay, you can review it, or if you are not the person reviewing it, then you can leave it empty. Okay, then name cards, same thing. So let me just put under office expenses, maybe office supplies. Alright, save it. Okay, that's done. Okay, this is invoice. Okay, so you can then so this is invoice 2. Someone made a payment for invoice 2. Okay, and then you can okay, for this case, this is where I want to show you. So you can see here that this is a payment received for an invoice in Wave. Okay, it is not a sale. You should not put it under sales account. Why? Because when you first created the invoice, you have already entered in this entry as a sale. So the sale has already been recorded. You already have a revenue of $350. What you are recording now is you are deducting your accounts receivable and adding on to your cash, because this is payment made for service that has been rendered or product that has been sold previously. Okay, so you can click here, payment received for invoice. Then you will see a drop down of all the outstanding invoices that have not been paid. And in this case, the person who have paid you have indicated that this is for invoice 2. Okay, so that's also one of the good practice, that inside your invoice you should always make a note to the paying party to tell them to remind them to quote the invoice number properly, so that it also helps you to trace the payment, and in a way it helps them also, so that whatever monies that they transfer over can be recognized by the receiving party. Okay, so in this case, you can see here that this tallies to invoice 2 and the amount is correct. So you can just click it here and then you press save, and this is automated. What happens is, as per the system, the invoice 2 will have already been changed from unpaid status to paid. So same thing for this one, invoice 3. Okay, so $700. Again, payment you receive for invoice 3. Okay, and then you save it. Okay, and I'll show it to you whether it's done. Okay, and then there's another thing that I want to show you. So okay, you remember in my previous example in showing you how to enter in accounting entries manually, I used an example where you actually got a loan from John, who is a shareholder, for $20,000, and then subsequently you also repay $10,000 back to the guy. Okay, and then okay, I realized that I made a mistake in the Excel. So you can see here that this actually matches. This is green color means income. So this transaction actually tallies with this one, the accounting entry that you have entered. Okay, and then this repayment should tally to the repayment to John, but there's some error here. So let's say if there's an error, what can you do? First of all, there are two errors. Number one, the figure is wrong. Number two, that this is a withdrawal rather than a deposit. So you can change it. Okay, but by right, if it is a legitimate bank statement, because the bank statement that I showed you just now, it was something that I came up with myself. So there was this error there. So sorry. But if you have downloaded it from your bank account, then there shouldn't be any errors at all. Okay, so anyway, so if there's an error, you just remember that you can actually make adjustment to it anytime. Okay, and then you can categorize it. So this is the category is shareholder loan, so you need to put it back in the same category as shareholder loan, and then you save it. Okay, and then same thing for this one, John. So this is shareholder loan. Alright, so we are done. Are we done? No, actually we are not. We are not quite done yet. Why? Because understand that we have already made the entry for the loan from John. But yet, when we imported the bank statement, there is a double recording. So that means the truth is you only received the loan from John once, which is 20,000. But because you have did it yourself and then you add on the one from the bank statement, now the accounts are such that you receive $40,000 from John, and that is not correct. I hope you guys are following me. Okay, if at any point you find that my video is not too clear, leave me a comments below. I'll try to clarify them as much as I can. All right. So what happens? Is you can actually tick them, and then you can merge the transaction. You can see here. Okay, why you want to merge them? Because they are essentially the same transaction. If you have the two of them lingering in your transactions tab, then you will be doing a double recording, and later on you realize that the amount will not tally in real life. Okay, so there is only once that John lends you $20,000. So you should merge these two together. Alright, and then it will be merged. You can view the source transaction next time, so you can break it down. Okay, if other than that, then you save. Then what happens is you realize that it becomes only one transaction left. So same thing, you only repay John $10,000 one time, but there's two recording. So you need to click on both and then you merge them. Okay, so this is how you do it, and that's the reason why I would recommend that you should be earnestly doing your accounts and bank reconciliation periodically and on a regular basis. Because if you leave it for too long, once you have a very large backlog, then a lot of these may just confuse you or go missing. If ever you find it too time consuming for you to focus on this, right, you can always consider outsourcing your accounts to an accountant to do it. They can actually help you balance your books on a month-to-month basis for a small fee. Alright, and the fees are usually chargeable based on work done, the number of transactions that you have, etc. etc. Alright, of course, on the other hand, if you have a staff or you have a business partner who is inclined with accounting, then they can do this as well. Okay, so once these are all done, so you can then click it. Okay, so basically, in fact, if you are doing a cash basis accounting system, alright, and you do not want to confuse yourself with all the merging that I showed you just now, right, you can just simply use the system to invoice and record bills, and then only match them when you do bank reconciliation. That means you always enter your transaction on a cash basis based on the cash in and cash out of your bank statement. Okay, but most of us do accounting on accrual basis. Once there's a sales, we'll recognize them first, irregardless whether we have collected the cash for it. That's the reason why we will enter the transaction first, and then we'll match them with the bank statements later on. All right. Okay, so enough said. This is all I have for you with regards to doing bank reconciliation using the Wave apps. So this is Kevin once again. If I've helped you in one way or another, right, I would appreciate the thumbs up. Please follow our channel, like our channel, subscribe to our channel, and I hope to bring you more good stuff down the road. All right, and I'll sign off from here. See you next time. Goodbye.